A lot of people, it seems, were very disappointed with the TBI press conference yesterday. I thought they said a few interesting things. They were only doing it really because it's the 1 year anniversary. It's not a case of they have some new information that is after triggering this update, or they've explored all leads and have nothing and need information. It only happened because it's the 1 year anniversary. I'm surprised they didn't just do a press release. I thought it was good, I thought it was interesting. Leslie Earhart was first to the mic, and straight away the first thing she said was, look, we're not going to go into any specifics here, just letting us know you're not going to get much information here. She talked about the frustrations that she thought it would be solved in a few hours, and she's not going to be standing here a year later. Mentioned again about how the case was always from the get-go outside of the norm. She said there are still few clues to what happened, and all possibilities are still being explored. She talked about the manpower, hundreds of hours went into it, search warrants, cell phones, all the digital evidence and social media accounts of people associated with Summer Wells. All that data, they've gone through all that, and they still don't have a clue. She talked about the 3 big searches and then numerous targeted searches. And this was and still is a huge investigation. 170 interviews, hundreds of phone calls. She then talks about social media, and in particular YouTube and Facebook. And I want to play this clip for you here because I think it's important. I think it's important that if I'm going to be talking about the Summer Wells case and making videos, that I show you what law enforcement and the TBI are saying about this platform, YouTube, and the Summer Wells case.
While investigators have been diligently working to find answers, they've had to deal with thousands of tips generated by false information that in some cases has been intentionally spread across social media platforms. We know that this case has attracted the attention of individuals across the country who genuinely care about Summer and want nothing more but to help us find answers. We appreciate those people. However, we are also aware that there are some people using this case for their own personal gain by spreading false information on social media posts as facts. Some go as far as to solicit donations. This has had a major impact on the investigation, and not in a good way. Moving forward, we ask the public not to submit tips as a result of a video they viewed on YouTube or a theory they've seen posted on Facebook. Please help us, and only call if you have direct, specific information about the disappearance of Summer. This investigation weighs heavily on us all, and I can promise you that no one wants answers more than we do, and we are not going to stop until we find them.
So 2 things. First thing, false information that is intentionally spread on YouTube to solicitate donations. That's very strong words. And I'm in the community and I didn't know who she was talking about when she said it. That was my first reaction. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, she could be on about a few people. I don't have a clue. Is she talking about the time Rose came back to life? Grandma Candace in chats, super chats for Grandma Candace? The debacle around Don's phone, remember that? What happened to that? Did she watch 5 minutes of a Jodie Sue stream? Is she talking about that time Candace was going to confess on another channel? Is she referring back to fundraisers? Who is intentionally spreading false information and looking for donations? Is she talking about all of it? Like, we shouldn't be hiding from it, we should be calling it out. And that's an official TBI press conference, and that's very strong words to me. Like, did I miss something? Did I miss a big scandal? Everyone watching this video is into the Summer Wells case. Who sprung to mind when you were watching this, when you were listening? What was the first channel, the first person that came to your mind? Because I'm not sure, to be honest, but it sounds like a specific example, and I'm not sure who she's talking about, but I might have missing something. Is she on about 1 person, 2, 3, 4, how many? I don't know if it's 1 or a few, but I do know that suspect list is pretty large. That's a big one. And the second thing, please don't call in tips on the back of videos. I have gotten comments in the past on my videos about people telling me about them about to call in a tip or just call in a tip. Please don't do it unless it's direct information. The manpower that this has taken must be incredible, and I think looking at that paragraph about the YouTubers, that was the main takeaway. That was the main thing there, was the mass amount of false tips that they're getting on the back of people watching videos. Please, if you watch any of my content, don't call in tips on the back of it. anything that I say in a video is definitely already after being called out, or any theory or anything like that. If I'm after thinking about it, the TBI are after thinking about it. Please don't call any in on the back of anything you see on this channel, and please don't call any in on the back of anything you see on any channel. It's hurting this case. All that time and effort and resources can be put into the credible tips and the credible leads. There was one other thing said at this that I think is very important, and it has come up before, and I'd love to know if anyone has any information on it. But it came from Ronnie Lawson. I'm not Ronnie's biggest fan. Don't think he's much good. He's constantly walking around the place with this arrogance, and his ego stinks. But he said one very interesting thing when he was talking about the searches. He said the public can't be involved because the terrain is just too dangerous. Quick side note, fair enough, but surely you can get like GPS trackers now to give to people and stuff like that. That doesn't seem like a big deal to me. They would get thousands of people out there searching. But anyway, he talked about initial searches, how they searched the whole area, and when they had to go back, they had to get landowners' permission. Here's a little clip from that.
And many of you have asked why that we didn't recruit private citizens to assist in these searches. With the extreme dangerous terrain that we were experiencing in searches, we were able to monitor each group and movement and their location. That way we knew that everybody came back to the command post safely. After the initial searches, then we had to go back and obtain the landowner's permission to search again. We could not allow or even grant permission for private individuals on these people's property.
So Ronnie there was talking about searches, and after the initial search, when they wanted to go back and search again, they had to get the landowner's permission, and they couldn't leave private citizens on that land because it was private property. Is that why? Or is it because the people said no when you asked them for permission? Which one? And is there anybody who did say no? That's the second time that has come up. And am I correct in saying that they wouldn't or didn't look for permission during the initial search? They just went onto the land. But then when they wanted to go back, that they would need a search warrant. They would need probable cause. If they asked for permission and the landowner said no, what are they going to do? What happens then? How many people did refuse? If any, how many? Why did they refuse? Like, they're not going to get a search warrant because they have no clues. So what's the probable cause? We want to search here because we've only searched here twice and we've searched everywhere else 7 times? That's not going to cut it. You need something solid, surely, but I'm very interested to know, is there people in the Beach Creek area who were asked by the TBI, hey, can we search your land? And they said no. Who are they? How much land do they have? And that was it really. Ronnie didn't say much more. And the first question and answer from one of the reporters was kind of like a slap on the wrist to Ronnie. They asked a question about, are the parents still cooperating? I thought the questions were very good. After every question I was like, oh yeah, good question. Except for the one, obviously, about the boys. Why reporters are asking questions about the location of kids, I just don't know. It's just a waste of everyone's time. But anyway, Leslie said that they are not going to characterise the definition of cooperating at this time. Take that how you want to take it, but just remember that they already told us that the CPS case bleeds over into the Summer Wells case, and that the Wells have been appointed by the state attorneys for the CPS case. They talked about the reward and said it's nothing got to do with them, obviously, so any questions on that need to go to the Churchill Rescue Squad. They asked about the red truck, and a very nervous TBI officer, Derek, talked about it. He also very rudely referred to Leslie as she. It was very weird, but he basically said, we don't have a clue. We don't know. Could be true, probably not. We don't know the time, the day, we've no idea. And I don't know what the story with Jody Sue is. I don't know what the full story is there. But what I do know is the TBI and the police do not believe a word out of her mouth. Not a word. They just don't give it any weight at all. Maybe it might be a mistake. Maybe. But I don't know. I feel like they're that way for a very good reason. And that was it really. They told us that the case isn't cold, but it does feel like it's going cold. Like, what are they going to do? What's the plan? They have no clues. The only way this is going to get resolved is if we get a confession or if Summer's body is found. And the more you hear about the searches and stuff like that, I do worry that she's very close by and she just has not been found. I seen a little bit of Chasing Truth driving down Beach Creek and Ben Hill Road with Ali and Cam. Their network was terrible, so you can't get much. But it was very interesting to see her first reaction, because I don't think she was down there before, and I think that will tell us a lot. people who are from the area or people who know the area might just wrongly assume that we all have this picture and understanding of the area when we don't really. So I'm very interested in any insight from an outsider who goes there for the first time. What stuck out? What surprised you? And I do think the answer is close by. I would love to see a map of the area with details on every single search that was done, what dogs were used, what drones were used, what types of equipment were used, dates, times of the searches, the works. Are there people who have refused any second search? Who are they? And what do you think of that? Is that their right? Or should, in a case like this, when you're looking for a missing kid, should you be allowed search? Like, it could be just some cranky old neighbour who hates the law, hates law enforcement, and just point blank is refusing them because they're convinced that summer isn't on their land anyway. That's all it might be, and Ronnie is never going to change their mind with a conversation or sweet talk them around. Someone else might be able to. Someone on YouTube maybe. Let me know what you think. Who were they talking about deliberately spreading misinformation? And what do you think about the searches? Would you be surprised if there's neighbours and people living there that have refused point blank any second search? And is that even the case? Because that's what it sounds like to me, is that they searched initially one search, and then when they wanted to go back a second time, if they can't get permission, they needed to get warrants. They can't get a warrant because they don't have a clue. They keep telling us they've little or no clues, so they're not going to have that probable cause to get that warrant. Let me know what you think. Good luck, God bless, have a good day.